Hello, everyone. Louise Williams here from Fraser Dove International. As one of your co hosts today, I'm delighted to welcome you all to our Lift Up live event, where we'll be launching our Women in Life Sciences community platform. So, just to let you know, if you are completely new to this platform, this is an interactive event. One of the key elements of Lift Up is to facilitate network growth and bring people closer together as a community. So please introduce yourself in the comments feed with a simple wave, where it is that you're dialing from, your background expertise, and if you're open to connect, obviously, very importantly, with the audience and the live community that's joining us today. So to do a quick kickoff, as we're obviously building up all the people joining us today, I'd love to do a little introduction on myself. So I am Louise Williams. I'm the Operations Director here at Fraser Dove. I've got around 17 years experience within recruitment, 8 years specifically within life sciences, working as a medical and a clinical recruiter across pharmaceutical, biotechnology organizations before developing into manufacturing and director level roles, leading successful contract and permanent teams. So I've really been part of building communities in the past. I've supported some executive level positions, previously running events with the Royal College of General Practitioners. So really, really passionate today about bringing this community of life sciences women together and being one of the co-founders of Lift Up. So I'd absolutely love to introduce you to Rosie, who's my co-host today. So Rosie, I'll pass this over to you.
Thank you, Louise. No, it's lovely to meet you all and see you all here today. Obviously, my name is Rosie. I've been with Fraser Dove for 2 years, but previously worked in the medical devices area for Boston Scientific, where I had the honor of having amazing female mentors from managers to peers. And that is why I'm so behind the Lift Up initiative and proud to be a co founder. It's lovely to see some of you here today. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome to the forum. It's great to have you on Lift Up Live. Hi, Emily. I'd love to hear where you guys are coming from. What is your technical background and what industry stream are you coming from? If you're happy to connect, again, this is a interactive session. Just let people know. Here we've got Ravinda. She's happy to connect, a program and project manager. Lovely to meet you all. Here's Harry, one of our senior consultants at Fraser Dove. Great to see you here. Hi, Tracy. Welcome from Colorado. It's really nice to have everyone here today. We're really looking forward to diving deeper into the initiative and obviously talking to some of our very special guests.
Yeah,
Hello.
I've just noticed here as well, Stephanie, somebody that we work really closely with. So hello, Stephanie. Lovely for you to join us today. Andrew, our CCO, I'm loving this. Lift up, ready to lift off, 100% on the rocket. So thank you. The geographical reach is absolutely phenomenal. Um,
Yeah.
so really keen to kind of kickstart. We've got some exciting Q&A sessions going on throughout this live event. So we really keep encouraging all of these comments coming through. What would be really helpful for Rosie and I to navigate this in the best way possible is if you've got a question, perhaps put Q at the start of your comments so we can really kind of pick those out through all of the feeds that's coming through. But to kickstart, I'll just let you know what our mission and what we're all about and what Lift Up is all about. So, our mission statement is connect, inspire, and champion women from academia right through to C suite across the life sciences industry. So, we aim to provide the opportunity to increase people's network, give confidence to the future. Leaders within life sciences and that platform to facilitate conversations, whether it be industry updates or for females to share, their career and success stories. So that's really what we hope to achieve. And obviously, this is the launch. So we're going to hopefully have many more live events. We're going to have podcasts coming off of the back of this, which we're super excited about. So much engagement already to get involved with the communities, which is amazing. So, what I'm really keen to do, I think, Rosie, are we in a good place? Have we got quite a lot of comments coming through,
I'm
which is amazing?
Yeah, the comments are piling in. It's great to see. We've got Anne-Lise here from Germany. We've got people coming in from Denmark. This is just an amazing experience to have this such of a global reach. So we really appreciate you guys getting involved today. And just to reiterate, when you're asking a question in the live Q&A, make sure you put a Q at the beginning of your question, and we'll make sure we'll get to as many as we can.
Excellent, thank you. So we look, without further ado, we have got an excellent key speaker joining us today. We've got Sandra Sanchez Oldenhage, which I would absolutely love to introduce. So we're going to bring her into the live event. Hello, Sandra.
Hi, you guys. How are you? Excited about this.
Super excited, and we are so thankful for you joining us today. Would you like to give the audience here a bit of an introduction into yourself?
Absolutely, and I'm very excited. So first of all, thank you so much for the invitation. I'm really honored and privileged to be here and opening and sharing dialogue with all of you. I've been in the pharmaceutical industry and life science industry for 35 years now. I've risen through from the lower commercial ranks up to regional president. I've been responsible for regions such as Asia Pacific, Latin America, Canada. I have a BA in business and an MBA. And I've had a lot of operational and international experience in top ranked multinational companies and living abroad. I've led, so you have an idea of what I've done. I've led mature and turnaround endeavors into profitable growth. And almost 2 years ago, my entrepreneurial spirit led me to establish my own consulting firm, Pharma Advice. I'm also an independent board member of private companies. I'm on the board of an NGO, which I love, Save the Children. And I'm on many business and industry chambers, and I'm a mentor also at Endeavor and Mass Challenge, helping other startups get off the ground. Why am I here with Lift Up? I really want to contribute to changing the numbers and making a difference. I have a personal commitment, just as Rosie was mentioning. I have had this for more than 10 years now. I was part of the G20 Gender Gap Task Force back in Mexico, invited by the First Lady, given the work I had done on diversity and inclusion at American Chambers. So that only was the first step that I took, and I loved it. To be very honest, I really had no role models back in my early years. Of course, that helped to get the experience, but having a platform like Lift Up or forums like this would definitely have helped. So bottom line, I want to share my experience, my insight, my learnings, my ideas, and as you say, be the change that we all want to see. I think it's about helping, empowering women in leadership. And the only thing I have in my background besides that this commitment is I never forget Madeleine Albright's quote: "There's a place in hell for women who don't help other women." I don't want to.
That stuck with you, has it?
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I really believe in it.
Yeah, excellent. No, thank you, Sandra. I mean, truly inspirational, right? And what a career you've had to date. So we've got some fantastic questions I can see already coming through. One of the
Yep.
ones that I think are really probably important for us before we go into the Q&As, because we've got so much
Louise,
coming through. Oh, have you
I
got
was just
something that
about to
you?
say, we've
Yeah.
also got our second special guest has arrived,
Oh, she has,
and
because
she
we
is
we had a
here.
few connection problems. Excellent, Anjana. Right, I'd
Welcome.
love to introduce Anjana. Thank you. Hello, Anjana.
Hello,
Hello.
how are you?
Yeah,
Can you hear me okay?
good old technology. I'm absolutely delighted that you could join us this afternoon. So thank you so much, or should I say morning to you?
It's actually night. I'm here in Delhi, and it was it was quite a challenge getting online, but I'm very happy that I'm online now.
Lovely. Wow. All
Thanks for
different
having
time
me.
zones. So we've got Sandra in the morning, you at night, us in the afternoon. Fabulous. Brilliant. Anjana, would you do us the honours and the audience here today? Would you be able to give them some insight into your background and why this Lift Up initiative has been so important for you and why you're so keen to get involved?
Well, hello everyone. The reason why I am here today is because of all the career choices and life choices that I've made. I had 30 plus years in pharmaceuticals, vaccines, and biotech. lived and worked in 3 different continents, moved a lot of times, about 11 or 12 times with my family, and really had the privilege of working in a career that fulfilled me from a career standpoint, but on a personal front as well. Working with patient-centric organizations really brought the common purpose really to the table for me, and that is what motivated me to stay in the career as long as I did. Most recently, of course, after having worked for great companies such as GSK, Merck, Bayer, as well as CSL, I decided to venture out on my own. I now own a consulting company called 24 by 7 LLP, based out of the US, and I'm actually currently doing some work in India right now. And it's really been a privilege to have this platform to talk to everybody regarding Lift Up. In my career and in my journey, I had so many people that lent me a hand to get to where I did. I started at the shop floor, I was a representative, and rose through the commercial organization to reach the C suite. And I think if I can do it, I feel like a lot of other people can do it as well. So I just want to be here to provide that encouragement to people and to say, look, nothing is impossible if you set your mind to something and just believe in yourself. But also, I wanted to say that in some of the early discussions that we've had, about 25% of women have made it to the C-suite. And if those 25% women do not lift up the others to increase those numbers, then we have not done our job. So that's the other reason why I'm here, is to discuss how we as a community can actually build up and lift everyone up.
Yeah, 100%. Very, very well said. And I think that fits absolutely nicely into our mission. So thank you so much for your introduction. Thank you for joining us today. We couldn't be happier that we've got you both as part of this official and initial launch. So a question, I mean, how's all I keep seeing is the feed keep going, Rosie. Is there
Yeah, it's looking
anything you want
great.
to share there?
Definitely. I think I just want to say, remember, if you have a question, put a Q in front of it, and we'll be sure to get to as many as we can today. It's great to see. We've got some people from the US joining us. Radina, hello. We're from Washington, D.C. We've got Elizabeth here joining from North Carolina. That's quite a big hub for the life sciences. I'm sure that was a big audience from there. And Alison from Massachusetts. It's really great to see you all here today. While the questions come in, of course, I would love to let you know that if you sign up to this link, you will be able to receive the recording of this session, but also be up to date with our latest events and news at Lift Up and as part of this initiative. So I think one question that we've got coming in now is just here. So a common theme in high-level progression to C-suite, particularly in pharma, seems to be a geographical mobility. How much do you believe this is to be the case? And how do we balance that desire with the desire to stay close to home or your support networks? Thank you, Emily, for the question.
It's a very good question, Emily. Sandra, do you want to give us your thoughts and intake on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is obviously a situation, but I think that after COVID-19, we've demonstrated that distance and mobility or geographical, wherever you are geographically, is not really a big issue. You can actually do it. Of course, most of the multinational companies have recognized that. And I think more and more as we go forward, this is definitely going to be demonstrated at all levels. And for me, if it doesn't start with tone at the top, then again, nothing's going to happen. So I think there's two things there. One is tone at the top and supporting this, because that's the only way to do it. And having everybody in the organization and having much more men coming into this conversation and supporting it. So I truly believe that after COVID-19, we just demonstrated we can do this. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And Anjana, anything to add to that?
Yeah, just to add to that, I think geographical mobility has been asked for traditionally to be able to get the experience that you require at the global level to be able to make great decisions when you're in the C-suite. Because when you're in the C-suite, you have a view of your global business, and you need to be able to understand and empathize with those businesses as well. So if you've only worked in one geography, sometimes it's very, very hard to understand what's happening in the other geographies. That being said, it's not necessary to move geographically to do global jobs anymore. As Sandra was saying, you can actually get the experience while not moving by doing a global job where you're not relocating permanently. So I think the thing to do is to have a very frank conversation with your leadership to say what your personal choices are, and also to express your desire to have those experiences while not making the trade-off with your family and your network. So I think it's the conversation that you have, it's the opportunities that you seek, as well as being really practical and pragmatic about how to go about doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that sometimes this can be outside of gender. This can just sometimes be problems where out of sight, out of mind can sometimes come into play, where we are in a virtual world now. So you have to have that communication level of engagement, even, whether it's virtually or not, as to what your progression plans are, your development plans are, your motivations. Because, whilst you can effectively work in a global role remotely, you don't want to be that kind of out of sight, out of mind. So speaking up, communication is I agree, 100% important. So thank you for that.
And you know what,
Rosie,
Louise?
is there? Yeah, you go, Sandra.
No, I just want to mention something that Anjana just mentioned also. I think it only plays in favor of having diverse teams. The more diverse it is, the better geographical representation, backgrounds, cultures are going to be represented. So I think it's about diversity, inclusion, and belonging. Not only having the seat at the table, having your voice at the table, and having your voice heard. And all of that, at the end of the day, that diversity of geography comes into play. So sorry about that.
Yeah,
but I just
absolutely. No, absolutely. Completely valid point. So thanks, Sandra.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, again, lots coming in. We've got a hello from Lisa in Tennessee. Great to see you. I've just seen a second question here that would be nice to talk about. So, from Sophie, what role do men have in helping women succeed? Anjana, would you like to
Yeah.
start?
Yeah, sure. Look, in my career, because when I was proceeding through my career, a lot of the higher management or senior management was men. So there was no way I could succeed if they did not actually lend me a hand and provide the sponsorship as well as mentoring that I required in order to get there. I have a story where I was a manager in one of my companies, and I just happened to be having a career conversation that started just off the bat with my senior VP, and he asked me, Anjana, what do you really want to do, in the future? And seriously, the only level I could see myself at was director. So I was very excited. I said, I would love to be a director. And he said, well, how about VP? And I looked at him, I was like, do you think I can be a VP? He's like, why not the CEO? And just him saying that and expressing his trust in the fact that I could actually stretch myself and actually look at those options, that those options were open for me, really boosted my morale and it boosted my confidence. And therefore, whether it's a man or a woman, I think the conversation needs to happen. And we need to encourage people that we see the potential in to be able to create that confidence.
Yeah,
I love that.
absolutely. Yeah, really good. And Sandra, what are your thoughts in regards to that? It's an
so
interesting question.
I truly believe that men have a role, because this is not about feminism or a macho culture. This is about knowing investing in women is not only
Yeah.
the right thing to do, but it's a smart thing to do. I think few people would deny the social, ethical, and moral drivers for gender diversity, but there is a business case. And the
Yeah.
business case has been demonstrated over and over. There's a better financial performance, there's a better customer understanding and satisfaction. And consumer is queen, if I can say it this way right now. Women today are making 85% of the consumer purchases and the consumer decisions today. That's the largest emerging market. They're becoming much more financially independent. So they're a driving force behind the household purchases. So why wouldn't you want to invest in women? And
Yeah.
especially men, I would definitely leverage men that have women children. Those are the ones that are going to be your best supporters and sponsors. So this is about the benefit to all. It's not that women are better than men. We are just we just come with other things to the table, and that makes the better decisions. At the end of the day, it becomes a competitive advantage.
And can I
Absolutely.
just add one more thing?
Mm.
Uh, Women cannot succeed without their significant others helping out at home
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
lending a supporting hand and really encouraging the women in their life to pursue what they want to pursue.
Hmm.
I don't know one female leader that also has a family that succeeded if their family did not help them.
Hmm.
Traditionally, men were helped by their spouses or their significant others, and
Hmm.
I think it's time that we shift that paradigm around, and we also ask for that help and
Hmm.
really express our ambition to do what we need to do, and have the men in our lives support us as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. No, that's a really, really valid point. But no, thanks for sharing that question, Sophie. We've got so
We've
much
got
engagement.
loads
Yeah,
coming in.
it's crazy. We've got Mary in quality assurance from Boston. We've got Kasia in Switzerland. We've got Chantel Thomas, who somebody I've worked with quite closely in the past. Hello, Chantel. Lovely for you to join us today. Who's really keen to continue spreading the community word and obviously connect with everybody. We've got Azel from Zurich. A
And
question
we've
that
just
actually
had,
came. Sorry, you
oh
go,
no,
Rosie. No, you go,
I was just
Rosie.
going to say, we've just had a really interesting question come
Hmm.
in from Claire.
Hmm.
And it seems there's a rough 50-50 split at entry level, but by C-suite, we've lost the diversity. Is this a linear attrition on the ladder, or are there pinch points that we can focus on? Sandra, I'd
Really
love
good
to hear what you
question.
think.
Mm.
Oh, I absolutely, and you hit it on the right there, Claire. And I think once you start going up the ranks, you start seeing less women. Obviously, the numbers are startling, and that's something obviously you don't want to. We want to change. It's clear there's a women's inequality, and it's still a big business problem. And I think it's more about helping women deal with whatever they have besides their work. And I think a lot of the companies need to help in understanding that we have different roles. Okay. And obviously, if the company or if the organization is not there to support women to handle all those issues, it's going to be more difficult. And most of the women either decide not to go for it, or it's more about you're afraid, you're not raising your hand, you're not speaking up about those issues. So I think that's something that we as women also have
Mm.
to ask for. We need to
Hmm.
speak up and ask for it. Is that I'm very interested, I want to do it, but
Mm.
I also have all these other roles where I need help from the company. And sometimes as women, we don't really speak up, and that's something we definitely need to do.
Mm. No, thank you, Sandra. And I think, John, it'd be interesting to see what your thoughts are, because that's, I've seen that statistics before actually around the 50-50 split when you kind of get up to that mid-management level, almost the sort of middle of career time frame. And then to take that drop almost by 50% again to sort of 25% of women getting to the C-suite leadership roles. What are your thoughts on that, Anjana?
Um, I saw this firsthand in the companies that I worked in and managed.
Hmm.
We were trying to get that 50-50 split to really continue with the career progression. And I think there are a couple of things that we need to understand as a problem statement. One is, are we providing the kind of development that is required to reach the C-suite? So
Hmm.
as somebody had mentioned earlier, if a lot of emphasis is being provided on geographical diversity and having to travel and move and do different things, many women may choose not to do that. So there are experiences that by nature are excluding women who have families and who have networks and other reasons to not be able to geographically move. So there is an inbuilt bias there in the kind of selection process that we're doing, the kind of things that we're asking people to do in order to reach the C-suite. The second issue that I feel is that women are great at seeking out mentors. So we ask a lot of people to give us advice, but very few in their early careers look for sponsors. This is a topic very near and dear to my heart. A lot of men will actually actively seek sponsors who will speak for them and about them in close groups and meetings where progression is being planned, or talent progression, and decisions are being made about who to place where. A lot of women don't ask for sponsorship. If you're doing great work, don't hesitate to ask your senior leadership to support you at that next talent discussion.
This is
Or
the
at that
speaking up, isn't it? It's
this
the
is the
speaking up
this
theme.
this is the speaking up, it's the engaging, it's the understanding that if you don't have sponsors in the company, a lot of people think if you're working quietly, people will notice. Unfortunately, that is not the case. You have to make a case for yourself of why you deserve to be at the level that you feel you need to be. You need to develop the skill sets, but then also engage and find sponsors. If you're doing great work, don't hesitate to do that.
It's brilliant, and it's so true what you say.
I think
Sorry.
Angela's a comment, just to add on that, it's not only about speaking up, it's about being visible. One of the things we women do, we have so many things to do. So we are working on we actually eat at our desk. We're not out there. And men usually are out there socializing. They're even talking about things they haven't even started, but they've already talked about the project. And we don't even talk about anything if it's not finished, right? Or if there's not a result. Don't do that. You need to be visible, and you need to talk about what you're doing. You need to net. If you're not visible, if you don't talk about it, you're going to be lost. And you just hit the nail, Angela, because we don't talk about it, right? And everybody knows about what men are doing, and they don't know what we are doing. So I think that's another thing. Besides speaking up, you need to be visible. You need to
100%, even virtually, right? And that's the point, isn't it? Is we're on such a virtual world now, but there is still that possibility. It's just about connecting, even if it is virtually, face to face. 100%. Andrew here has put, nothing is impossible. Absolutely love that statement. And from Andrea here, we've got Anjana, inspiring. Love to see a fellow entrepreneur building off the life sciences experience. We've got Karen, who's from the UK. We've got somebody from our LinkedIn networks in New York.
It's great to see such a global reach. I mean, the key aspect.
Munich.
The key aspect to lift up is building on network. And I think what both of you just said, a key theme to your answers, is that it all comes from your network, being visible in your network, and also building those connections with your senior leadership network or your peers. And this is exactly what the platform aims to do. So please make sure you're connecting, you're discussing, and reaching out moving forward. We've got a lot of questions coming in. A really interesting one here from Abby Rose. Abby Rose asks, what are the biggest hurdles women in leadership positions are facing, and how do we prevent them or overcome them? What I'm going to do, I'm going to ask Anjana and Sandra to come up with one hurdle that they've faced in their career so far, and and how did you overcome that? So Sandra, we'll start with you.
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest hurdles I confronted in my career was really stereotyping and the expectations on leadership style. So I think this is where there's a double bind dilemma for women. I remember the article from Catalyst, damned if you do and doomed if you don't. So whatever you do, it's not going to be okay. There's an expectation that if you're a woman, you're going to demonstrate soft skills. So you're going to take care, you're going to be people oriented, you're going to collaborate, you're going to manage down, express your feelings, you're going to be available. If you're a male or if you're a man, you're expected to have the hard skills. You're going to take charge, you're result oriented, you delegate, you manage up, you take the risks, you're demanding. And I always noticed that if you only presented soft skills as a woman, you were too soft. If you presented and you were like behaving like a male, you take charge, etc., it was like you're too tough. So it was never right. So what did I learn? I learned that don't give the opportunity for anybody to stereotype you. There's a continuum. There's a situation, and you deal with different people also. You need to be moving in that continuum, and people need to see you in both roles. They can see you with soft skills when needed and in a certain situation, but they also need to see you with tough skills. And maybe they see you with a combination. There's a continuum, and I think
Yeah.
as long as you move within that continuum, nobody can stereotype you, and you're never going to be or too tough or too
Yeah.
soft. That's
Absolutely sound bit of advice. I think that's really inspiring to listen to, and I think that's a great bit of advice for hopefully some even younger generation inspirational women that want to be future leaders. So thank you very much for that, Sandra. What are your thoughts with that, Anjana? What's been your sort of number one biggest hurdle?
I think it's women want to be sure 100% before they take on the next role.
Hmm.
It's called a stretch, right? So you will never hear a man say, "This is too much of a stretch for me. I cannot take this job." A lot of women leaders will want to develop their skills 100% before they actually take the leap and take that next role. There were many people who believed, right, that you could do the next role. But if you yourself have self belief or don't have self belief, it's going to be true. So if you say, "I can't," you can't. If you say, "I can," you can. And
Yes.
I would like to see actually women leaders take more stretch roles where they feel maybe 50% prepared. And I can guarantee you, you will still do a great job. So do not refuse those opportunities. If they're coming your way, just go for them. Do not overthink and overhold on to failures. It's okay to fail and it's okay to learn over your career. If you don't take that risk, if you
Hmm.
don't take that stretch, you're in your comfort zone. So that's one thing that I would just put out there. Take the stretch.
Yeah.
Brilliant. It's so true. And from someone who's just starting their career, it's a common theme throughout the exec search space is that even when it comes to applying for a job, typically, and there's been surveys to prove it, men will apply if they suit maybe 4 to 6 out of 10. Women will
Hmm.
not apply unless it's 9 out of 10. So already we're missing out on a massive population of the talent market because, as you said, they're not stretching or they're not seeing it as a stretch goal. I really love
Yeah.
that. Thank you guys. We've got
Yeah.
more questions flying in.
Yeah.
It's looking great.
We've also got Alison here, who I just have to say, she's put absolutely, I love this. So thank you. It's really obviously supporting many and resonating, I think, as well with a lot of the audience, clearly. Tiffany here has said, what is your biggest or best advice, should I say? And what best bit of advice would you give other women starting out in their career progression? So very similar, something to what I was thinking of is kind of what bit of advice would you give to your younger self even? So Anjana, what are your thoughts with that?
For me, it's believe in yourself.
Hmm.
It shouldn't have taken a senior VP to tell me that I was worth going up the ladder and that I could plan a lot more than what I was planning. I think we sell ourselves short.
Hmm.
And sometimes in your early career, there are lots of things happening personally as well, and you're trying to balance all of that out.
Yeah.
But don't sell yourself short. Believe in
Hmm.
yourself, and develop the skills that you need to develop to get to where you want to go. Some people want to be CEOs, other people don't. And it's okay to not want to be CEO.
Yeah.
Be the CEO of your life and do what's right for you.
Yes.
There is a season for everyone and everything. And, just don't compare yourself to anybody. Just have the self confidence to go for what you're looking for.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sound bit of
Love that.
advice there. I think we've got here coming through. Lovely discussion. Great to see all the leading women together. Really inspiring. Kudos, ladies. Thank you so much for that. We've got Jason saying Melanie Hall, PhD, yes, you'll be able to get to the recording after the event. So there has been some questions in here from Melanie, a few other people as well, just saying whether this event is being recorded. It 100% is, and we will be sharing this around afterwards. We've got some people from Germany in the Frankfurt area. We've got so much coming through. We've got lots of questions as well. Anything here that's jumping out? Got
Jan Harvey here is asking,
yeah.
Will, I think this is really interesting because what been talking about is, women needing the 9 out of 10, wanting to be perfect at what they're doing before they take the step. So will seeking and chasing perfection always help? Sandra, I'd love to hear your take on this.
Sure, and I think it'll be within my answer to what advice I would give to my younger self or to other women here on the forum. I think I have 2 overall career recommendations and 4 very quick on-the-job tips. The first 2 are, and I think it's very much under what Anjana was saying also, but follow your dreams and define what success is for you, define your north, and never lose sight of it. There's many ways to get there, but don't let fate or others decide for you, which usually happens if you lose your north. So that's one. The other one is find help early. You're not alone. So a mentor and a sponsor. Those are
I love that. I love that.
They're very different. So that's overall career. And on the job tips, the first one I've learned, 99%, you guys, is okay. We always want to be above 100%. We always raise our hands if we only feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Sometimes 50% is okay. And you need to feel comfortable with that. So that's the first one. The next one is be visible and create your network, as I already commented. The third one is, I learned that very early in my career, work-life balance is a verb. It's not a noun. So it's not a static phase where you get there and you say, oh, I managed it. No.
Yeah, it's the doing.
It's depending on where you are in your career, what you want to do, what phase you are. For everybody, it's different. So you need to learn the verb. And the last one is speak up. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. There is a way on how you say it. Speak up. I think that's my advice, and I hope I answered John Howard's question.
A lot of people totally agreeing with you here. You got hashtag skin your fate. Absolutely agreed by Bo. And one thing I obviously want to bring up, this is one of the first conversations with women that I found truly open and inspiring. So isn't that lovely? I think this forum is just beginning, and I'm really, really excited to, not only be able to share these best practices and get all this information, but connect, network, and grow and lift each other up.
100%, Rosie, well said. We've got a lovely question here, really showing, humble, authentic question. Women are different from men regarding emotions and how they express themselves. Sometimes I feel I can't be authentic in the way I want to express myself with the passion I have in meetings. What training, book can I read to learn how to act, behave to get to the next levels? I'm currently at director level, leading a global team in regulatory affairs. Thank you very much for sharing that, Nicole. Really insightful, great question. Have there been any question books, Sandra, Anjana, have there been anything that's kind of inspired you or that you've read that you could recommend at all?
Anjana, you can go for it because
Anjana. I should have been pointing that. That was my fault. Anjana, would you like to answer that?
Yeah, for sure. So I think that your authentic self is the only thing you can bring to the table. If you try to be someone else, it's not going to work. In my career, one of the great things was to really understand what it was to be an authentic leader. An authentic leader is someone who communicates directly and to their truth. You have a north, you understand what you want to say. There is voice you have a seat at the table and a voice. And you have to be able to express where others understand what you're trying to say. So in leadership, being an authentic leader is not necessarily to show whatever emotions we have, but to show appropriate emotions at the right time. and to be able to express yourself so that people understand what you're saying. There was a saying that I really really liked, which is, how do other people feel in your presence? How do other people feel in your presence? And I think that, as as an authentic leader, you have to be able to gauge and look around you and understand what impact you're having when you walk into the room. What impact are you having when you speak and you're engaging with your organization?
Yeah.
In terms of books, I can tell you that no books can actually teach you the skill to be authentic. Maybe Sandra has recommendations. I really think that experience is the best way to
Yes.
learn, and unfortunately, I have not found a book yet that teaches you how to be an authentic leader.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I completely agree. I think sometimes you can read books to help inspire potentially, but there's nothing more important than being authentic. And in the wise old words of our CCO here, he's put qualify yourself in, not out. And we've got so much agreement going on. Absolutely spot on. I think we've got here as well. You're spot on. We focus on the position components. We do not specifically have the versus the men's skills we do have. So I think it's really, you've got a lot of people that are really coming through and agreeing, along with Elizabeth here as well, Sullivan. So thank you for that. Is there anything to add to that, Sandra, from your perspective?
Yeah,
Is there
what
anything?
I would say is this new normal today is
Mm,
demanding leaders to change their leadership style. And I believe that we need to evolve from focusing on the doing to evolving into the being and the caring style. And that's where I believe women in general tend to show more than men. And it's putting people first. And I truly believe leadership is about people. I completely agree with Anjana. You need to be that authentic, and it's who you are.
yeah.
And people might forget what you say, but they'll never forget how they felt. So maybe I don't remember the words, but I'll remember that you made me feel good, cared, taken care of. And today, with this new normal, I truly believe that these are the new traits that they're going to be that are going to be needed. And we just saw it during the pandemic. The
Yes.
best
Yeah.
the best results on the pandemic were led by women. So that we are the best for a crisis, for example. So,
Yeah.
and in terms, I really think that leaning into life's difficulties often reaps the rewards that far outweigh initial challenges. So, again, I think one of those, if I can mention a book at least that it sparked these things that I said I should have done this before, is Leaning In from Sheryl Sandberg. And she was the one
Okay.
she was very outspoken, and she came out to really talk about the issue. And I think Leaning In is very good because it's like, take charge, go in there, and be authentic, and don't
Yeah.
lose. I wouldn't be afraid of the emotions. I wouldn't. I think
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
vocal is part of being close to people.
Yeah. 100%. I think we've had so much resignation with that. We've got a yes, yes, yes from Andrea. When people know you care, they respect your authority and your opinion more. We've got,
And they'll give you that
mhm,
discretionary effort. When people
yes,
know, they'll give you the discretionary effort.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
literally, it's so
There
true.
is a saying that goes, they don't care how much you know until they know you care.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that is
love
actually a,
that.
a wonderful point to possibly close down the questions to. I'm looking at the clock now, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we are hitting our 45-minute marker.
That's
Um,
crazy. That has gone so
uh,
fast.
it's
Wow.
flown by. It's been an
It has,
absolutely
isn't it?
amazing discussion. I just want to mention, um, if you are looking to get involved with the Lift Up initiative, grow your network, be connected, and inspire each other, please do connect to the link. We will be sharing it among the recording of today's session, where you'll get news on our events. It's on the screen here now. You'll get news on our events. You'll get news on our newly releasing podcast in the next few weeks, and also in the future our mentorship program. So looking forward to that.
You'll have to apologise. We are in a building where they have got a fire alarm going off, but it's. I'm going to just mute myself for a minute because it's only 20 seconds.
There
Okay,
we
it's
go.
gone now.
Apologies for that. I hope that wasn't too
Slightly
harsh on all
earlier
your ears.
than I expected. But look, the engagement's been so high. Time has flown. Great discussion. Thank you so much. We've got so much in agreement. Thank you, Valerie, for coming on and joining us live today. We've also got in these feeds, if you've got the opportunity later, to just have a look at some of the books that people have actually put into the comments. So Radical Candor by Kim Scott is a recommendation on leadership communication, which I believe Cynthia also agrees is a really good book. So
Brilliant.
I think we've got Dare to Lead by Brené Brown. So effectively, the aim moving forward is we would love to continue these live sessions. We really, so grateful. So thank you, Sandra and Anjana, for joining us today as key speakers. You've really supported this initiative even over the last few weeks in building this community. It's been fantastic, and your inspiring words today have really supported, I hope, many. We've got podcasts coming up. Anything else to add to this, Rosie? We're kind of just the start, isn't it, really, of this Lift Up initiative?
Yeah, I believe we're about to run out of time. So just a big thank you to everyone who joined us today. All information will be going out among all our profiles. I'm really looking forward to connecting with some of you as well. Please don't hesitate to get in touch with any of the co-founders here at Lift Up. And we look forward to seeing you next month at our next live. Thank you, Anjana and Sandra.
100%. And also
Thank
a big
you.
thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you to the co-founders as well that have really helped put this together. Laura Warburton, who couldn't be with us today, she was really one of the kind of engineering brainchilds of this initiative. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it today to join us on the panel, but thank you to her as well for sparking this initiative internally with us. So thank you all. Thank you to the audience. We'd love to see you again on the next live event, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank
See
you.
you.
Goodbye.